Hello everyone. This is a bit of a different video than what I normally do. It started out quite differently, or it ended up quite differently than what I had originally planned. So, this was actually supposed to be an April Fool's video. There is a certain game that I really do not like, and I wanted to play a prank on some of my friends who also played that game to make them think I was coming back. But of course it would just be an April Fool's joke. But that turned into something pretty different about halfway through. And then I decided I'm a lot more interested in what I ended up making the video about. So I decided to start over from scratch and try to take another shot at this. Hopefully with a more structured, or at the very least, less awkward sounding commentary. And if you're wondering why I'm playing solitaire, partially because this was the original plan for the April Fool's joke. Like, it was a bait and switch where I made it look like I was playing the game, but then it just cuts over to solitaire and I just play that for the rest of the video. It was supposed to be like somewhat humorous dialogue, but then it turned into something else, and well, I guess there's nothing really to preface at this point, so I guess as good a place as any is if I've explained the backstory of that, then why did I mean, I'm sure, I'm pretty sure I have at least one or two friends from that game who still watch my videos. So I think this would at least be good to address for them. Just like, why am I never coming back to that game? The game in question, by the way, is Sky Children of the Light. It was a game that I loved a lot for a long time, actually. But the reality is, the game just sucks, to put it bluntly. See, the issue with Sky is that it has all the elements there to be a fantastic game, but they just completely sabotage themselves and their player base. The developers, I mean. They sabotage themselves and their player base with just so many decisions. The shop prices continue to just get worse and worse. The entire game just boils down to a grind fest if you want like actual gameplay content in this video game. And it's just not fun at all. And on top of that, there are just so many glitches everywhere. Periodically I'll ask people I know who still play the game, and they'll tell me, like, it's not any better. So I can only assume that they just refuse to improve the game. And it's not just the bugs either, just a lot of the game design decisions are just baffling. But this video isn't entirely supposed to be a rant on Sky. That would be that would make for an interesting video one day, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like that would require a lot of research, and it's not that I don't feel like doing the research, but rather I don't play the game, so I feel like to properly make that video, I would probably have to return to that game again, and there's just no way. There are just too many factors that just go into why I would never go back there again. I will get to those later. For now, I will switch to a bit of a lighter topic, because kind of the theme of this video, and I'm realizing saying it this late into it that it's probably not really all that structured after all, but I've always liked just improvising. So, it is what it is. So, I wanted to kind of pivot into a bit of a lighter topic, because the theme of this video is just about kind of just the future in general. Just what I just want to do as a whole in all sorts of different ways. And one of the things that I suppose is pretty relevant to bring up, seeing as this is a video that I'm uploading to my YouTube channel, is kind of just talking about like what am I going to do in the future. And there's one thing that I know for sure that I want to do, and that is a Let's Play of Rotund Rebound. Anyone who knows me knows that I love Rotund Rebound. It is one of my all-time favorite 2D platformers, one of my all-time favorite indie games. It's just a fantastic game all around. So much love and effort put into it, and I would really like to dedicate a video series to like not just showcasing everything there is to do in the game in a more structured manner, but also just highlighting a lot of like the small details and the design decisions that went into it, stuff like that. And well, really speaking of that, I have also been kind of thinking about making a different type of video related to the game, where it's just more of like a video essay, just discussing like why I think it's such a great game, and maybe just doing like a critique of the entire game, which for a critique I wouldn't have a whole lot negative to say. When I did my 101% run through the game, I think there were a grand total of like 3 medals out of the entire 200 that I did not like. So that's a very big amount of consistency, or a large amount of consistency, however you think of it. When will I make it? I feel like the summertime is probably the best and possibly the only opportunity that I really have to do that. I am in college, and college, as I'm sure any college goer knows, is a very time-consuming thing. Like you can't really rely on having so much free time. At the very least, not if you want to get good grades and keep good grades. Or at least, you know, just try your best. So I need to wait a little bit before I can really devote time to any video projects in general. This is what I'm doing right now is very small in comparison. It's just a simple little recording. I do have some ideas for other videos, although they range greatly in terms of like whether I would ever end up doing them. One that I'm very interested in, but at the same time will almost definitely never make, is a video about YouTube thumbnails. There are a lot of very strange YouTube thumbnails out there. It feels like nearly every day I just see something that just completely blindsides me. I just think this is just crazy. The main two reasons are why I wouldn't want to make a video like that is, one, there are so many instances of it that I feel like I would not really be able to track down anymore, just because I don't remember the exact title, yet it's still, the general idea of it still sticks in my memory. And so it would be kind of frustrating to kind of give off the idea of like, oh yeah, this one's like really egregious, but then not give like the shining example of why I don't like a particular format of thumbnail. And then the other reason, I mean, if you're watching this, either you're someone who's been subscribed to me for years, or this magically appeared in your feed and you have no idea who I am. I am super small on this platform, and I don't mind that. Thing is, I would not want to really become popular for a video like that, because I think that would, I'm almost certain it would be the only type of video of that style that I would ever want to make. It would kind of create the expectation for the people who like the video that I would be doing that kind of style of video from now on. And I just wouldn't. I only do things that I am interested in when it comes to this platform, and I would still have that philosophy if I had a large following, or even any size of following, like whether that's like 5,000 subscribers, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million. But yeah, I just wouldn't really want to deal with that kind of pressure. A video that I would be interested in making, that I do almost definitely plan to make at some point, would be a video talking about my favorite albums. I have an idea of doing a top 50, and really the only thing stopping me now, besides, you know, college, is that I feel like I still have a bit of a ways to go in terms of like how many albums I should listen to first. Because I want to have like a stipulation where I can only do 3 albums per artist. For a lot of my, for like my top 4 favorite artists, like if I didn't have any restrictions on how many albums I can have from them, like the vast majority of the list would just be from those 4 artists. Even though I am very passionate about those, it would kind of make for a boring list. Just because it's like, it's another Dream Theater album, oh, it's another Haken album, oh, it's another album by the Deer Hunter. So having a whole bunch of other artists mixed in would help make it more exciting, I think. So on a related note, This is more of just a topic that I just feel like talking about, more than any relevance to the overall theme of the video, if that's what you want to call it. Recently, I've been listening to Sunya by The Deer Hunter. It's their newest album, came out almost a week ago, as of the time I'm recording this. And, it's pretty good. Actually, I have to say that I think it came at a very good time in my life. I think a lot of the lyrical themes are, like they just feel very personal to me. Because I'm kind of reaching the point where I just want to... Like I've always been telling myself, I really want to finally make something of myself. And I think in some ways, like I am finally following through on that. Like with going to college after years of putting off doing anything really. And just knowing that obviously it's not going to be easy. It's going to be pretty hectic at times, but that's just the way the old ball bounces. And you can't really sit around pouting about your situation or just hoping that it will get better, but you just have to actually just concentrate your willpower and just pull through by your own hands. I feel like that was nowhere near as elegant as I tried to make that sound, but hopefully my point is clear here. And that kind of ties back into why I will never return to Sky. And I know that only like 2 or 3 people who ever watch this will... Me talking about this is only really for a select few people, but playing a game like that and just the FOMO behavior that the game is designed to bring out of you is kind of forcing myself to just keep enduring that. It just made my life feel very stagnant, and I did have good times there. I've met some truly wonderful people there. But even despite the good times I have, they're just I feel so much better just having let go of it. That's just something that kind of has been seeping into a lot of different facets of my life, I guess. Just where I don't want to live in a stagnant sort of way. I just want to keep becoming a better person instead of just sitting around saying that I wish I was a better person. And one way that I can do that is to just break all sorts of bad habits, which wasting my time on a game that thoroughly disrespects my time is just one way. There's just one example of that. Something that I kind of learned just from doing my first take of this video last night is to just be more open about my feelings. I have acknowledged to myself silently that it's good for me to do that, but I think just spontaneously doing something like this kind of really puts into perspective just how important and therapeutic it is, and that it will make you feel better. And there have been times in the past where I do regret not having been open with other people. One friend in particular, I knew her for a very long time, and I was just too scared to really tell her how I felt about where our friendship was heading, and so I just wasn't open to her about it, and I just regret not having dealt with that in a more, in just a better way than leaving without much of a trace. And I really am sorry for that. Just kind of part of just acknowledging just this openness. Acknowledging that I want to be more opening about my feelings puts into perspective just how certain situations could have been handled a lot better on my part, and I just don't want to keep doing that. Like, not just for the sake of myself, but obviously for all the friends and family that I have. It's funny, really. I've always had this mindset of, like, don't play the mind game with people, and what I mean by that is just, instead of just kind of approaching situations involving them in a very passive aggressive manner, or just kind of intentionally being vague or subtle, thinking, oh, this will be the time they finally get the hint and actually change. Like, that's just that's not good for anyone, and I just don't want to keep living like that. Like, I want to, I guess the word would be like self-actualize, where I don't want to keep just wishing things were better, but to actually try to truly put that into motion, to truly be better than the person I was yesterday, than a week ago, than a year ago, than 5 years ago. Honestly, I honestly can't pinpoint what exactly was the catalyst that truly sparked this in me. Maybe it was that album by The Deer Hunter, or maybe it was just a lot of reflection, or I don't know, maybe it was just so many little things piling up that finally blew up in my face in some way or another without me even really realizing it at the time. On an unrelated note, I don't think I'm doing very well at these Klondike games. Not to ruin the mood, it's just I'm playing this as I record, as I'm sure you can tell by my mouse clicking every few seconds. But moving away from, like, moving on to something a little less heavy, I also want to apply this mentality of becoming better in terms of also my hobbies as well. To be honest with you, as much as I enjoy gaming, it's honestly just such a drag now. Like, I'm not really, like, there's barely anything interesting coming out anymore. At least within the, at least on, like, the big budget side of things. Like, I'm sure the indie scene will continue to thrive. But I think even in the indie scene, like, I just don't see much that really appeals to me. I think inadvertently it's something of a wake-up call that I should just pursue different interests. Like, there's just so many more interesting things that I could be doing. I mean, I'll always enjoy playing games. Like, I think I don't think I'm ever going to officially quit playing, like, my favorites. Of course, Rotund Rebound, but also a lot of my other mainstays, like Project Diva, or Pizza Tower, or Celeste, or any of my other favorites, Xenoblade, Persona, stuff like that. Well, Persona might be hard to do these days with how long those games are, but anyway. I just feel like there's more exciting things out there that I know that I have the passion for deep down, and I just need to conjure up just the energy to say this is something that I know that I want to do. So I need to just go ahead and do it and invest my time into it and keep trying and trying and trying. One of the biggest examples, if not the biggest, is creating music. I have made music in the past with FL Studio. I've made about 30 songs at this point. Only one of them I can truly say is good. But if anything, I think that just kind of proves that just through doing my best with what I have to work with, I have improved upon what I've been doing with music composing over the past 5 or 6 years. And not only do I want to get better at composing music, but I also want to get better at playing the keyboard. I keep telling myself that I just don't have the time to practice. And that is partially true, because college can often be taking up a lot of my time just with all the assignments and projects and such. But my hobbies are just so spread thin. The stuff that I am less invested in overall, I just keep defaulting to, okay, I guess I'll just have to do that some other time. And then I just end up doing something that's like a time waster instead. I wouldn't consider solitaire a time waster though. I like to do this when I'm listening to music or something. It's kind of meditative in a sense, helps me focus. But I don't know, like playing Bed Wars on Minecraft or something. I don't know why I'm still playing Bed Wars on Minecraft. I mean, it's kind of fun, but it also kind of sucks. Not as much as Sky, though. Yeah, sorry. I just had to get another lick in. Another thing that I really want to do, and I have invested a fair amount of time into this, is creating my own story and putting it out there in some kind of medium. I have actually written out a first draft for it, and I have been making tweaks to some of the various plot beats and such. You know, just fixing up any blatant plot holes or inconsistencies, and then just introducing improved ideas or outright new ideas that hopefully will make it a better story in the end. I would like to make it into a video game. I feel like that would be the best medium for it. But of course, video games as a medium for storytelling can be a bit weird. Like, there's a lot of abstract limitations that can come with it that you might not even really think about at the time, but they do kind of unintentionally sabotage the end product. And maybe I'll try a more traditional form of storytelling. I think maybe a graphic novel could work out pretty well. Like, it would be a good opportunity for me to, like, try my hand at just improving my drawing skills. Because I do enjoy drawing, but the problem is just my art isn't very good, so it's very easy for me to look at what I've drawn and go, okay, this is grotesque. I can't even stand to look at this. So I'm just gonna do something else that I'm better at instead. I could try writing it like as a novel, but I feel like I would have to really know what I'm doing first before I attempted something of that style. Like with a video game, even though video games kind of have a bad reputation for storytelling, it also kind of makes people, I guess, like a bit more lenient in that regard. I hope that makes sense. I mean, I've got a while to think about it. There's not really much of a hurry to like get this out like super quickly. It's definitely a marathon and not a sprint with the story I want to create. I've actually been working on the story technically since 2014, although its mere identity has gone through some drastic changes. I mean, maybe identity is not the right word. Like, kind of at its core, it's still kind of the same thing, but a lot of the elements that make it up, just like the characters and the tone of the game or the story, have greatly changed over the years. Oh, look at that, I actually won. So, really, I think I've covered just about everything that's just going on in my life and my mind, and just the future that I want to head towards. Of course, there's no knowing what the future holds, but I do hope that that I can, you know, just finally get rid of all my bad habits, form all the good habits I've wanted to do, and finally just become consistently productive in all the ways that I've been saying for so many years. Like, I want to play the piano, I want to make music, I want to make professional music, I want to maintain a great education, I want to bring a story that I've held in my head for a super long time to life. It's finally starting to just click with me to just take action and not just sit around waiting for something to happen. I definitely plan to make at least a couple new videos sometime in the relative near future. I definitely can't promise anything, but this summer I should hopefully have time for either the Rotund Rebound Let's Play or the Top 50 Albums video. If you have watched this entire thing, then thank you so much. Especially so if by some crazy miracle you have never seen this channel before and just somehow happen to find it. Like, I don't know what would compel you to sit through this entire thing, but I am very appreciative of that nonetheless. But hey, even if this goes without any views whatsoever, I don't really care. Not just because that's par for the course for this channel, but also just because, I mean, like I said, it's just good to let it all out and to just articulate what it is I'm feeling out loud. And I can at least say that I'm glad that I decided to do this. Just a very refreshing feeling to do something like this, and I don't know if anyone watching this kind of happens to relate to just any of just the feelings that I've presented in this video. Feeling stagnant or anything else I mentioned, then I do think doing something like this, even if it's just essentially talking to yourself like I'm doing right now, speaking out loud just your feelings, I think it can be helpful in some way. I think that's really all I have to say on the matter. One last time, thank you for watching, and take care, and let us all look towards a new and brighter future.